Mabuhay! And welcome to our music education class. Together, let us discover and explore the wide influence of African music to our culture. Before we begin, I want you to read each definition carefully. Choose the answers from the pool of words given and write your answers on the space provided before each number. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And number 5. Good job! Before we proceed to our lesson, let us recall your past lesson in music. Match the composer's name in column A to his composition in column B. Choose the correct answer and write it on the space provided before each number. Great work! Your memory surely did not fail you. Now we can start our lesson. Are you ready? Music has always been an important part in the daily lives of the Africans, whether for work, religion, ceremonies, or even communication. Singing, dancing, hand clapping, and the beating of drums are essential to many African ceremonies, including those for birth, death, initiation, marriage, and funerals. Music and dance are also important to religious expression and political events. Let's talk about the traditional music of Africa. The first traditional music of Africa is Afrobeat. Afrobeat is a term used to describe the fusion of West Africans with the Black American music. The second one is the Apala or Akpala. Apala is a musical genre from Nigeria in the Yoruba tribal style to wake up the worshippers after fasting during the Muslim holy feast of Ramadan. The third one is Axe. It's a popular musical genre from Salvador, Bahia, and Brazil. It fuses the Afro-Caribbean styles of marcha, reggae, and calypso. The fourth one is Jit. It's a hard and fast percussive Zimbabwean dance music played on drums with guitar accompaniment, influenced by mbira-based guitar styles. The fifth one is Jive. It's a popular form of South African music featuring a lively variation of the jitterbug, a form of swing dance. And the last one is Kwasa Kwasa. It's a dance style begun in Zaire in the late 1980s, popularized by Kanda Bongo Man. In this dance style, the hips move back and forth while the arms move following the hips. Now let's move to Latin American music influenced by African music. The first one is reggae. Reggae is a Jamaican sound dominated by bass guitar and drums. It refers to a particular musical style that was strongly influenced by traditional mento and calypso music, as well as American jazz and rhythm and blues. The second one is salsa. Salsa is Cuban, Puerto Rican, and Colombian dance music. It comprises various musical genres, including the Cuban son montuno, guaracha, cha-cha-cha, mambo, and bolero. The third one is samba. Samba is a lively rhythmical dance and music with 3 steps to every bar, making the samba feel like a timed dance. The fourth one is soca. Soca is a modern Trinidad and Tobago pop music combining soul and calypso music. The fifth one is were. Were is a Muslim music performed often as a wake-up call for early breakfast and prayers during the Ramadan celebrations. The last one is zouk. Zouk is a fast, carnival-like rhythmic music from the Creole slang word party, originating in the Caribbean islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique and popularized in the 1980s. Now, let's move on to the vocal forms of African music. The first one is maracatu. Maracatu first surfaced in the African state of Pernambuco, combining the strong rhythms of African percussion instruments with Portuguese melodies. The second one is blues. Blues is a musical form of the late 19th century that has deep roots in the African American communities. The notes of the blues create an expressive and soulful sound. The third one is soul. Soul is a popular music genre of the 1950s and 1960s. It combines elements of African American gospel music, rhythm and blues, and often jazz. Next is spiritual. Refers to a Negro spiritual music, a song formed by African migrants to America who became enslaved by its white communities. This musical form became their outlet to vent their loneliness and anger, and is a result of the interaction of music and religion from Africa with that of America. The last one is call and response. The call and response method is a succession of two distinct musical phrases, usually rendered by different musicians, where the second phrase acts as a direct commentary or response to the first. Let's now go to the classification of traditional African instrumental music. The first classification is idiophones. Idiophones are percussion instruments that are either struck with a mallet or against one another. Balafon. Balafon is a West African xylophone. It is a pitched percussion instrument with bars made from logs or bamboo. The next is agogo. The agogo is a single bell or multiple bells that had its origin in traditional Yoruba music and also in the samba baterias or percussion ensembles. The next are rattles. Rattles are made of seashells, tin, basketry, animal hoops, horn, wood, metal bells, cocoons, palm kernels, or tortoise shells. The next is slit drum. Slit drum is a hollow percussion instrument. It is usually carved or constructed from bamboo or wood into a box with one or more slits on the top. Next is atingtingkon. Atingtingkon are slit gongs used to communicate between villages. They were carved out of wood to resemble ancestors and had a slit opening at the bottom. The last is djembe. Djembe is one of the best known African drums. It is shaped like a large goblet and played with bare hands. The body is carved from the hollow trunk and is covered in goat skin. Now let's go to membranophones. Membranophones are instruments which have vibrating animal membranes used in drums. Their shapes may be conical, cylindrical, barrel, hourglass, globular, or kettle, and are played with sticks, hands, or a combination of both. The first is body percussion. Africans frequently use their bodies as musical instruments. Aside from their voices, where many of them are superb singers, the body also serves as a drum as people clap their hands, slap their thighs, pound their upper arms or chests, or shuffle their feet. The next is talking drum. The talking drum is used to send messages to announce births, deaths, marriages, sporting events, dances, initiations, or war. Sometimes it may also contain gossips or jokes. The third classification are lamellophones. Lamellophones are a set of plucked tongues or keys mounted on a soundboard. An example is the imbira. It consists of wooden board with attached staggered metal pins, a series of wooden metal or rattan tongues, plus an additional resonator to increase its volume. Another classification is the chordophone. Chordophones are instruments which produce sounds from the vibration of strings. These include bows, harps, lutes, zithers, and lyres of various sizes. The first one is the musical bow. It consists of a single string attached to each end of a curved stick, similar to a bow and arrow. The string is either plucked or struck with another stick, producing a percussive yet delicate sound. The next is the lute. Originating from the Arabic states, it is shaped like the modern guitar and played in similar fashion. It has a resonating body, a neck, and one or more strings which stretch across the length of its body and neck. The next one is the kora. Kora is Africa's most sophisticated harp, while also having features similar to a lute. Its body is made up of a gourd or calabash. A support from the bridge is set across the opening and covered with a skin that is held in place with studs. The leather rings around the neck are used to tighten the 21 strings that give the instrument a range of over 3 octaves. The last one is the aerophones. Aerophones are instruments which are produced initially by trapped vibrating air columns or which enclose a body of vibrating air. Flutes. Flutes are widely used throughout Africa and either vertical or side-blown. They are usually fashioned from a single tube, closed at one end, and blown like a bottle. Horns. Horns and trumpets, found almost everywhere in Africa, are commonly made from elephant tusks and animal horns. With their varied attractive shapes, these instruments are end-blown or side-blown, and range in size from small to large ivory horns of the tribal chiefs of the interior. To wrap it up, many instruments of Africa are made of natural elements like wood, metal, animal skin, and horns, as well as improvised ones like tin cans and bottles. These are mainly used to provide rhythmic sounds, which are the most defining elements of African music. For your activity, I want you to create an improvised African musical instrument using available materials found in your home: shakers, drums, mallets or sticks, body sounds like clapping and stomping of feet. Create a short rhythmic accompaniment for any song you know using the improvised materials you created. Involve your family members in doing this fun and exciting music activity. Record your short performance with your cell phone video and pass it to your teacher. Being with our family is the best time we can have. And by doing our activity, we learn so many things like harmony, cooperation, communication, creativity, and most of all, love. I want you to describe your personal experience in making improvised African instruments from available materials found in your home, and your experience playing the improvised rhythmic patterns with your family by supplying emojis to describe your personal experience. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something from our session today. Remember to always stay safe. I'll see you next session. Goodbye!